Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous State of the Games. I'm Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo and today we're going to talk a little bit about 2.6.2. Specifically, I'm going to touch on a number of items. The Drake Buccaneer, Mega Map, and of course the optimizations made to the netcode using AWS, Amazon Web Services, so we could actually have a more pleasant experience in the PU. I played about 2.5 hours this morning, being Tuesday, April 4th, 2017, and I gotta tell you, the game is awesome. So let's get right on to the first part of my video, the Drake Buccaneer. So I've taken you into the Selfland hangar to present to you the two combat ships that Drake has right now. One is kind of a fighting freighter, almost like the Millennium Falcon, but not quite because it's a lot smaller. And this thing is pretty heavy duty, but it was supposed to be the jack of all trades, able to fight like a Hornet, able to carry cargo like a Freelancer, and because of its design, it fell short in both. It's getting redesigned at this point, and it's going to take on more of a role of a pirate, kind of like a pirate Freelancer, but more. So I can't call it that exactly, but that's what we're going to leave it with for now until we see what the finished product is. All of this is getting reworked. So for the people that wanted that pirate fighter, that fighter was able to hold its own with a lot of the other ships that are out there right now, CIG gave us the Drake Buccaneer. Now it's not exactly a Saber, it's not exactly a Gladius, it's not exactly a Hornet, it's its own ship. In my estimation, it has more in common with the brand new Anvil Hurricane than it does with any other ship, being that it has a ton of weapons on it. I mean, look, 2 weapons stations on both wings, plus missiles, plus the turret on top, which could house the 2 gimbaled size 1 weapons or 1 big giant size 4 weapon, which would be awesome. This ship could be decked out with a lot of different weaponry, and we're going to talk about that when I specifically do a video about the Drake Buccaneer, and going back to the old days where I start giving you all my thoughts on the spacecraft, because we're going to have quite a number of them coming out and being reworked over the next few months. The lines of the Buccaneer are kind of a cross between beauty and industrial. Practical use of every space on the ship, keeping it small enough to be carried in small carriers, I guess. Something that we don't have yet, but we might see in the future. And a lot of the implementations of the different pieces of the ship are behind easy to access, just like the glass up front and other panels, so easy to access panels, so you can make quick upgrades, replacements, repairs of the different systems. This is what I'm talking about. It's kind of like a reverse gull wing, like the F4U Corsair has the gull wing. If you took these wings off and put them on opposite sides, that would be more like a Corsair. With the dihedral look to it, almost like a parasol here, it kind of looks like a bird coming in for attack. I really like this ship. I didn't think I was going to. As a volunteer, I was given a Drake Herald and got myself a upgrade to the Buccaneer just in case, when the Buccaneer went on sale, I should say. Just in case, because I really don't see my playstyle wrapping myself around the Herald at this point. But after playing the Buccaneer today for quite a bit, I'm thinking I'm going to be wrapping my brain around this ship as an alternative to my end-all be-all Aegis Dynamic Saber. Yes, I think that's my favorite ship at this point. But the Buccaneer itself is a great addition to the fighters that are in the game and should make any Arena Commander game, whether it be a co-op Vandal Swarm or all-out squadron battle, or the fight for life, the furball that everyone gets into, you should be able to hold your own in here. It is kind of weak in armor, like the Hurricane is going to be, but it does pack a wallop. And if you spend your time outfitting it correctly, this could be an amazing ship. So CIG likes to drop different terminology on top of us and expect that we know what they're talking about. So Assumption Engine is the one that brought me to confusion, but Megamap hasn't. And I hope that those of you that have had an opportunity to watch the different CIG programs understand it in full now. But I'm going to explain it and show how amazing it is in a very simple way. First off, think back to when Star Citizen's Arena Commander started and when the hangar started. You'd have to sit there looking at a loading screen because CIG would be pushing all of that information onto your computer called the client, which it would then have to load and go into a real game. Today, it's a little bit different. With AWS services or Amazon Web Services, they have the ability to stream that information to us as we're playing. So that means when we go and we set up something in Arena Commander or Star Marine at this point, PU comes down the pipeline a little bit, probably for 3.0. But when you go to start one of these games, they start immediately. And I think that's pretty awesome. Not only do they start immediately or within 3 to 5 to 10 seconds, but you could also swap out of them and back into them rather quickly. So I haven't done any editing here. This is it. And it's more like 10 or 15 seconds on my side right now. But look, we're in. We're ready to go. And that's just amazing. Now, we're going to get a little bit into the AWS and how that has helped out Star Citizen with just this. My frame rates have gotten so much better across the board. But even here, where I'm playing at 2560 by 1440, I'm getting 70 to 80 frames a second now instead of 40. Almost a doubling of my frames per second, and something like Arena Commander where it never was that taxed for frames. Really am liking this a lot. So I got into this game, I was playing it, and I said, all right, how am I going to show everybody that this is just something that you can play for a little bit, decide you don't want to be here, and then go into another match without potentially 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, sometimes 8 minutes of loading screens. A loading screen to get back to the menu, and then a loading screen to get back to a new game. So let's just kill this guy over here, Die Vandal. We need more Vacan for our Shanks Gourmet Space Paste. There you go. Get it on there. Fine, you can kill this thing. Okay, finally. Let's move on now. So scooching ahead to a point where I decided, you know what? I could probably go all day in my Saber because I love my Saber and it's just an amazing ship. Thank you so much, Aegis Dynamics, for delivering me one of the best ships in the whole Star Citizen universe. Kapow! But now I say, you know what? I want to be more competitive. I want to pick a different ship. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bop out of here. I'm going to just exit to the menu. 5, 4, 3, 2. Look at that. Right back into the menu. No long screen. No long loading screen. And I'm going to say, you know what? I want to be much more. I want more of a challenge. I want to go to Pirate Swarm. I want to go into Dying Star. And I want to pick the Gladiator. God, I wish it wasn't copywritten or copy protected. Or copywritten? Copyright laws? Oh boy, that's hard. I would be playing the song Slip Sliding Away when I'm playing the Gladiator. But all of a sudden, this time out, I found that this ship was actually amazing to play. And I took it all the way to wave 17 before I died by crashing into a asteroid. Oh boy, that was just horrible. But what I was here showing you is how Megamap affects our gameplay. No more of this long wait times, long load times, waiting to get into a game. It's actually not a burden to switch around to different places. So I guess this is where I give up that I didn't actually crash into a rock. Yes, Batgirl was shot down, and here it comes. Any second now, there's a missile on my butt. There's people coming after me, and bang, bang, zoom, I'm going to be dead at this point now. Come on, there I am, dead. All right, so I get through the game and I say, you know what? I'm done with this. But guess what? There's something really important to show you coming up in the next few seconds. Watch it, wait for it, wait for it. It's going to be me getting out of the game, bang, zoom, and exiting to the menu. So I played that game for quite a long time. Mega Map takes me right back to where I wanted to be, right back to the start. And I sit there and I go, you know what? I really just want to go into the universe. I want to go and I want to check out Crusader and see how Crusader is working with this brand new AWS optimization, or Amazon Web Services optimization, that was brought into the game. But Megamap is not installed on this piece of the game. This piece of the game being the PU. So I do have a little bit of a wait time. Now I have gigabit internet services, so I'm sure those of you that are running at 100 megabits a second on their internet are going to have 10 times the wait time that I had. But I was normally getting 3 to 5 minutes of wait time, and here, not even a minute and a half. The first thing I notice as I'm exiting my little habitat cubicle here is that, holy cow, frame rate is incredible. The frame rate is just out of this world awesome. I'm usually getting like anywhere from 16 to 24 frames a second inside the habitat module, and about 20 frames to 22 frames a second walking around this Port Olisar space station. I'm even going to go to where the lighting effects are, and no slowdown. I know I could improve it a little bit more with motion blur and other items turned off. Some of you have been awesome enough to send me ways to improve my graphics by typing things on the console. I just haven't done that yet. But here I go, and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to take out one of my favorite ships. Let's go. Oh, go back up. Go back up. I'm not going to take out the Buccaneer the first time, mainly because I just don't want to. And my scythe, nah. So what I do is I decide to take out the Valiant. So we're going to go, nope, turn around, go to the right. Yeah, there it is, the right door behind you. And we're just going to walk around this area, and look, no slowdown whatsoever. For those of you that haven't played the game in a while and rely on YouTube videos like my own to tell you how things are going, they are rocking it. CIG, not only have they upped the information dump to the community, but they have upped the actual progress they're making on the game. This is the most important piece of the game for them to be working on right now. Not giving us more content, but giving us much better frame rates, connectivity, stability within the client itself, and within the connection to the online universe. I am just amazed with how incredibly awesome the game has gotten. So skipping ahead a little bit, here I am inside my Buccaneer. Yes, I had to take out a second ship because my Gladius, it just didn't make it. No, the Valiant is a great ship, but it's better when you take the weaponry that it comes with and update it. The main reason for getting the Gladius Valiant is for the extra missile pylons, and that's about it. Nonetheless, even later on in the game, as the server became highly populated at 2560 by 1440, I was still getting 38 to 50 frames a second, depending on where I was. Now, I still find a little bit of, not a little, I still find lighting issues, like light bleeding through the bottom of my ship and reflecting off of my canopy. That's kind of annoying because that wouldn't happen in real life, but I understand that they're fixing one bug at a time. But I have to tell you, second longest I've ever played this game. I played for 2.5, almost 3 hours, actually. And I had an amazing time playing, and only got kicked off when my internet went out because they're installing my neighbor on the AT&T Giga service. Oh my Lord. I have never been this happy with the game. Not since the first time I walked through my very first ship, the Aurora, or the second time I walked through my most favorite ship at the time, the Constellation. But at this point, I go and I find myself playing other games because doing the same thing over and over again in Star Citizen at low frame rate, choppy, unreliable connections, broken pieces of the game, it just wasn't fun. I know what alpha means, and I know what playing in alpha means. It means I'm going to have issues. We're going to have to write them down and then enter them into the system that reports the bugs, and +1 or -1 different issues that other people put on the system. But at times you just want to play the game, even though it's alpha. You just want it to work, and it does work. So where I'm going with this is that I think that this maintenance patch, and possibly another one, 2.7, we might see 2.7. I can't guarantee it, but anything that they do to make the game more stable, make the connectivity more reliable, before they release 3.0, I'm all for. Alrighty, for those of you that rely on me to tell you what's going on, I'll tell you this. The game is way behind schedule. We know that. But it's getting better with each release, and I can finally say they're ready to start pushing forward towards 3.0. I was against any movement towards 3.0 until the netcode, the reliability and the strength of the connection, the frame rate of the connection to the persistent universe was corrected. And by moving to Lumberyard and incorporating AWS, Amazon Web Services, into the game, they have an incredible increase in all the things that I thought they would not be able to do for the rest of this year. So I never thought they would fix frame rate and connectivity issues within the game before the end of the year. I was not optimistic about 3.0 coming out this year. I am rescinding that pessimism at this point. I am again optimistic. The game is headed for a release of 3.0, and I will put my idea, my prediction out there right now. I believe that 3.0 is going to be out within 3 to 4 months' time, so sometime around Gamescom. I know it's a little bit far out, but 3.0 has a lot in it. More planets, more moons, more space stations, a lot of missions, and lots of animations and lots of QA to do before that happens. So with the netcode and everything actually working, this is where I figure out that my thrusters were moved to my analog joystick on my throttle. But with what I've seen initially in 2.6.2, I'm pretty happy. And even if a 2.7 comes out before 2.3, I'm still going to be optimistic that we'll see 3.0 this year, which means mining and exploration and freight missions are not that far off. Folks, the game is coming. And for the critics out there, I do have to agree, it's far behind schedule from where we thought it would be at this point. But nonetheless, for those of us that have kept our chins up, have kept our belief, our faith in Chris Roberts and crew, we're about ready to be rewarded with some really amazing things this year. Now, I know there's going to be some new concept ship sales, and I don't condone spending money you don't have, so remember, everything will be available in the game. For those of you that have disposable cash, want to help the game go on, provide more income for CIG to get this thing done, there'll be some pretty amazing ships coming up real soon. And folks, let's talk about my schedule and end this one. My schedule is going to be easy from now on. Sunday nights, I'll be recording State of the Game, releasing them on Mondays. Wednesday or Thursdays, I'll be recording Ben's Day, releasing that on Friday. And I'll be spending a lot of my free time, whatever I have between now and the end of the school term, trying to do lots of ship videos, what I think about each ship, taking each one out, and doing an update of which ones are good, which ones are bad, what the primary purposes are of them. Go back to my original videos and you'll see what I mean. I do quite an extensive review of the ships, and that's something I'm going to be releasing on Wednesdays, unless I'm too busy from school, at which point I'll beg for your forgiveness. And as soon as school is over on May 10th, I'll start streaming every Sunday night, Wednesday night, and of course Fridays with the girls on Lightspeed Lunatics on twitch.tv/The Base Radio. To find my own streams on Sunday, Wednesday, and Fridays when I'm not with the Lightspeed Lunatics, they'll be at twitch.tv/Nikki65. Thank you so much for watching, listening, and of course, clicking that thumbs up button when you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and for those of you that want to go one step further, that will be at patreon.com/Batgirl. Thank you all, and you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.